This is not just one corporate, not just one company, but this tells a story of a sector. This is a sector story and the challenges being faced. What have Airbus been saying and what stands out to you from what we heard post the market yesterday from the CEO?
Good morning. So yeah, it was a pretty sort of comprehensive revision of their guidance. You mentioned the 770 plane deliveries versus the 800 previously anticipated, but they really sort of threw in the kitchen sink yesterday. We've got a reduction in cash for the outlook. We have a reduction in the operating profit. We have a reduction also in their longer-term production rates on the all-important A320 plane. So really Airbus taking a deep look into its numbers and realizing they can't achieve what they'd hoped for. And this is just about at the halfway mark of the year. So fairly early on, normally, you know, Airbus, when they have cut, and this doesn't happen often, but when they have cut, this is usually fairly late and they've always seemed fairly confident that they can make it. But this is at the halfway mark. So things can't be looking very good for them when they're already this pessimistic at this point in the year. It's really across the line for them. It's not a demand issue. So this isn't that people aren't buying their products. It's a supply issue. They can't get the products to make their planes. We're talking about engines. We're talking about aero structures. We're talking about cabin interiors. All that stuff is missing, and therefore they can't build the planes at the rate that they'd like to.
And it also means, of course, that they're unable to fill the gap, arguably, at least to some extent, that's been left by Boeing as it faces those security issues. Talking of which, there's some detail coming through in terms of Boeing and a new offer, at least a revised offer, it seems, for Spirit AeroSystems. And this also talks to the supply chain constraints for that company.
Absolutely. So Spirit is an interesting company. They are principally a supplier to Boeing, but they also supply components to Airbus. And we heard a couple of months ago that Boeing wants to buy Spirit back, gain control of that asset again, given the crisis that they're in. And untangling that asset is very complicated. You don't want some of the parts that go to Airbus to land in the Boeing camp. So the companies have been picking that apart for the last couple of months. What we're hearing now is that they are sort of on the home stretch, on the finishing line. We might get a deal in the next couple of days, this week maybe even. Remember, next week is a national holiday in the US, so things will probably slow down then. So they're trying to get that over the line. We're hearing that there's a small premium baked into this, about $35. This is a fairly distressed company, Spirit that is, so you know they can't be too wishful in what they can get in terms of money. So $35 is the money that's sort of on the table, and we might get an agreement in the next couple of days. But as I said, very complex to take that apart and make sure that all the bits end up with the two main manufacturers where they should be.